first commander, the first deck that we have here is the Graveyard Overdrive. And if you're watching this stream after the fact, you could always just jump along the video to watch the deck that we're going to be talking about, at least see the deck that you want to see. But the first deck that we have here is Graveyard Overdrive. This has a value of 210.78. What do you guys think about that?
I think the commander alone prints out what used to be a extremely valuable like $300 card, which isn't as much anymore because modern has changed. The one that makes the Termagoyf, right?
Yeah.
Legion, yeah.
I kind of skimmed through it. Kind of seems about right.
Okay. All right, because I honestly, this is my first time seeing this, so I have no idea. I haven't even seen the commander for this deck yet, so I'm gonna read this right now. So, whenever a Lurgoyf permanent card is put into your graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, put it onto the battlefield. Okay. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a Tarmogoyf token. So, are you guys more familiar with Tarmogoyf?
Yeah. So Termagoyf's, what is it, Matt? Matt's the one who knows more. I think it's a asterisk 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's asterisk / asterisk +1. Because all the toughnesses are +1.
Yeah, so, and it gains +1/+1 for each different card type that's in your graveyard.
It's all graveyards, and yes, it includes tribal, which is now known as Kindred.
And arcane, right?
No, arcane's a subtype. Subtype is different than a base type.
There you go. But yeah, you could get it real big.
Yeah, right? Guys, this is like oof. You're right. It's like a $20 card, $30 card over here.
You just make them. At some point, it was extremely expensive in modern because it was popular with gem decks. You just like fill up your graveyard, and then you'd have like a 4/4 for what is it, 1, right, Matt?
Yeah. Like, I'm looking at this deck list, it pretty much reminds me, it's just like value Jund the deck list, as you'll see it when we go and take a dig through it.
Okay, so I think he's moving me along here. So the first card is a Pyrogoyf, 4-cost creature. Pyrogoyf's power is equal to the number of card types among all cards in graveyards. Do you think that's something that all these cards are basically going to have, every Goyf? It's just something I don't want to have to repeat that 7 million times. They all have that ability, right?
Yes, yeah. That's a standard thing they've been doing since Ice Age, which is when they made the Lurgoyf creature type, but yeah.
Okay. How do you pronounce that?
Lurgoyf.
Lurgoyf?
Yeah, you got it right.
Alright, cool. Whenever Pyrogoyf or another Lurgoyf creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature deals damage equal to its power to any target.
Which when you start rolling, it could be 4 or 5 per Goyf.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. That's basically like Warstorm Surge on a creature.
Yep.
At 4 mana. It's specific to these Lurgoyfs or whatever, but Warstorm Surge wins games.
Yeah. I mean, it's junk color, so you could still use a couple changelings if you want to make it a tribal Goyf.
Are we giving that a thumbs up?
Oh, I'm giving the commander.
Yeah, we're giving that a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one.
Not all of it, but a lot of it.
So the next card is an Ignoble Hierarch. Hopefully it's in that art too. Yeah, I think I'll automatically give this a thumbs up, guys. I mean, like, I feel like this card was worth money. Taps for 3 colors of mana, exactly what you need. Exalted. I don't know if that necessarily matters, but I feel like that's a good card. It's very straightforward. I'm assuming you guys think the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, most mana dwarfs are good, especially if you're tapping for all 3 of your colors. Perfect.
And I would even say, like, you might not even just want to. You could just take this card out and put it in another deck. This is just a good card to own in your collection,
Yeah, it's a good card to own in your collection.
Yeah. Next card we got is a Stitcher's Supplier. So when Stitcher's Supplier enters the battlefield or dies, mill 3 cards. What do you guys think?
That is a phenomenal card.
Yeah, right.
It was a standard staple. The card was nutty.
Yeah.
And then it was also in Dredge before they banned Hogak out of Modern.
Yep.
You giving that thumbs up?
Yeah, 100% a thumbs up.
Yeah, I feel like that's good. Yeah. For 1 mana, 6 cards, basically.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. We got the Accursed Marauder. When Accursed Marauder enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a non-token creature. For 2 mana. It's a Fleshbag Marauder for 2 mana. It's non-token.
The non-token part is what sells me.
Is what sells you?
I also realized with these commander deck lists is they also put some of the commons and uncommons from the base set into them.
Yep.
You guys like this card?
I actually do. It's besides in this deck, in this deck maybe because you want your Goyfs to leave from your deck, right? So the milling aspect is where it's at.
Yeah.
Stacking doesn't put them where you need, doesn't get you the effects that you need, but it's a good card overall.
Aren't there those cards?
Zombie synergy.
Oh, true. Aren't there those cards that you could play where you could literally you could pay X amount of mana into black and then take cards from your graveyard and then put them onto the top of your library? What if you could like, I forget, do you know what card I'm talking about, guys?
No, probably not, but there's a bunch of black cards that put stuff into the top and to the bottom. You're in the correct colors for what you want to do, so like discarding, milling.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
My first thought is you could use the commander with Buried Alive and just put 3 Lorgoyfs into play for 3 mana. That was the first thing I was thinking of.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Just
That's such a... On turn 2, or like even on turn 1. Turn 1, you could Dark Ritual into... Oh, man, dude. That's... Well, no, not even. But you'd have to have your commander in play. Well, how much does commander cost? 5.
So you could probably do like turn 4 or 5, but yeah.
Yeah, that's still.
So you have access to all the ramp package.
What about the Jeweled Lotus? How much mana does that give you?
It gives you 3 of any one color.
Okay, of any one color. Okay, so yeah, I'm just imagining things.
Yeah,
The next card.
There's also a before you.
No, yeah, you're good.
Phyrexian, right? It's 4 black, and you take 3 non-human creatures and you just put them in this grave.
What's it called?
Man, if I was as good at this game as Matt, I'd know.
I know exactly what you're talking about, actually.
Do you know the name?
Finale. I want to say it's from Mirrodin Besiege. I want to say it's from
Life's Finale.
No, I think it was. It was either Brothers
I think that's a board wipe.
or All Will Be One. One of those 2.
You're sure it's not the one where you destroy all creatures in play and you can send 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard?
I think he wanted. No, I think. Oh, let me see.
Oh, never mind. That's only opponent's libraries. Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure you do that to your opponent instead of doing it to yourself.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about is a Phyrexian, right? It's
yeah. I'm pulling up on the screen the card that Matt's talking about.
Yeah.
I like that board wipe. I think it's a good board wipe. Wins me games sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think the next card that we had over here is a Sakura Tribe Elder. I mean, I'm just gonna give it a good, it gives you mana.
It's a good. Yeah, it gets you mana.
Look at the Borrow Goyf. So Borrow Goyf's power is equal to the number. All right, I don't have to read that. When Borrow Goyfs deal damage, combat damage to a player, you may mill that many cards. If you do, you may put a creature card from among them into your hand.
That's one of the good ones. I like that.
At 3 mana, dude, I feel like these Goyfs are like really cheap, dude.
Read it to me again.
Whenever Borrow Goyf deals combat damage to a player, you may mill that many cards. If you do, you may put a creature card from among them into your hand.
I think at the beginning it's not gonna be as great, but like toward mid game it'll be better because it'll mill your Goyfs.
Yo, Matt, I'm listening.
And that's the point of the deck. That's the point of the deck. You got to mill your Goyf.
But Matt, could you look up a card from... There's a card from Eldraine that lets you return cards from your graveyard on the top of your library. I don't know if you have your laptop with you or whatever. If you can look that up just so
I'm on my laptop right now. I think you're talking about You're talking about the enchantment that has the adventure.
No,
that
I
lets
think
you put, like target creature from your graveyard on top of your deck.
it's a sorcery. No, there's like it's like a lady on the front of the card. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 1 second. I have to actually figure out what that one is.
Yeah, just let me know when you find it on Google. We got the next card over here, Burnished Heart. That's a good card. Just give you mana. Next card is my favorite card of all time, the Eternal Witness. I'm gonna give that a thumbs up. It's just good.
I love that. I love that card. It's a good
Yeah.
card.
The Gluttonous Hellkite. Oh, this is
What
new.
the fuck is that?
This is 3 Jund mana, and then you can pay XX.
Really weird card.
So for new players, XX meaning every 2 mana that you put into this counts as 1 mana, basically. When you cast a spell, each player sacrifices X creatures. Gluttonous Hellkite enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it for each creature sacrificed this way. Flying Trample. What do you guys think?
Seems bad. It's like overpriced.
Yeah, I have to agree with Matt.
Like, what's the best case scenario? You're gonna pay 7 mana to force 2 sacks.
Yeah, that is a lot of mana. But if you have the mana, I mean, technically, if you force 2 creatures to be sacrificed, 4 players on the board, that's 8 creatures. This is an 11/11 with flying and trample.
Yeah, the problem is it doesn't have haste.
Yeah.
Like, there's a long list of cards that have like stupid stat lines. For like example, Consuming Aberration, that either don't have evasion or they don't have haste. In this case, this card doesn't have haste.
So then, what are you thinking? Yeah, you guys sound like I should put a big fat thumbs down.
I wouldn't put a big fat thumbs down. I'd put it in the middle, like an eh. If you had an eh button.
Yo, we either got a thumbs up or a thumbs down, dude. I don't have a mid. All right, so
I'll give you a thumbs down.
We'll give it a thumbs down. All right, it just got the big fat thumbs down. You're sorry, Hellkite. It just happened. All right, so the next card we have is the Polygoyf. This is just Trample Myriad, and then the same text that I don't need to read. What do you guys think? I feel like Trample and Myriad. Ooh, that's just a ton of creatures. Then if you can make copies of this creature and then get even more Myriad triggers.
Even if it just had Trample, I feel like the card would have already been good.
Yeah, no, he's actually right.
Yeah,
like you're taking like Goyf's ability to like all the Goyf's ability to just get fat, and then you put Trample on top of it. Icing on the cake.
Yeah, dude, I like it a lot actually. I think it's a good card. Oh, we got Selvala, Heart of the Wilds, guys. I'm not gonna read. I mean, for some new players, I'll read it. This is a strong card. Guys, this is a really good card. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. Okay. You can pay a green and tap this to add X mana in any combination of colors where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. I mean, what do we even have to say?
I mean,
it's stupidly broken.
The card's stupidly broken. It doesn't only get a good, it gets a golden good.
Yeah, that's like
It gets like an S+++ rating. The card is literally a whole CEDH deck.
And keep in mind, new players, like this deck is gonna be $70. And for me, when you're paying $70 for a Precon, you should be finding cards like this. You know, this is a good card. So the next card we have is Yavimaya Elder. I mean, he dies, you get 2 lands, you pay 2 mana, draw a card, sacrifice him. I mean, I'm gonna put. You know, I feel like it's a good card, but do you guys really think it's a good card?
No, not at this point.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, this card was a staple, but now like Commander's gone like 4 turns faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little too slow.
I mean, if you're playing against us, like this will probably not against Matt. Actually, don't play this card against Matt.
No. Yeah, don't play this card against Matt.
No. It's not fast enough.
You crack your Yavimaya, and Matt was like already taking his cards away, and he's like, I already won the game. I don't know what you're still playing.
He'll just path to exile your Yavimaya Elder. Just to
Not wrong.
Just to prove a point. Don't play that card. The next card we have here is Anger, guys. I feel like that is such a good card inside this deck.
It's just give it the up, man. Just give it the good.
There's the haste. You know what I'm kind of surprised though right now is that we're not seeing a lot of self-mill. Other than the card that causes you to mill when you're... Actually, yeah, we've seen 2 cards that self-mill, but I feel like we need to see more. Like the Yavimaya Elder could have been taken out for a card that just taps and you mill like 2 or 3 cards. You know what I mean?
I think we're there are some cards that are like really good, like Selvala and some of the Goice, but I think we should be hitting a bit more value for the 70 card.
Yeah.
Like, of course we haven't finished yet, but like, I haven't seen anything that I'm like, oh fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, because even the next, so you'd be you, dude. Even the next card over here is the Bloodbraid Elf and haste cast. I know Matt really likes Cascade, that's probably excites him a lot. But inside this deck, you guys know what I mean? I mean, does Cascade put the Goyf onto the battlefield with Disa?
No, because it puts it. Actually, that's a good question. No, because it says put it in the graveyard.
No, it's not going to the graveyard.
Cascade creates like a sub exile pile.
Yeah, so then this card is basically...
It's a really weird mechanic in that aspect.
It's basically pointless. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a double X, guys. Maybe a triple. This card, I don't even think needs...
It's a good card, but it doesn't really make much sense in the deck.
Yeah, I don't know why that's here. That's just where
filler.
Yeah, maybe a creature that just tap... I don't know, if you could... This has to be a card that you can just tap to mill, you know? Next card we have is...
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, just something like that. So next card we have is Brawn. You know, as long as it's in your graveyard, all your creatures have trample. Yep, that's what you want. Oh, dude.
I mean, if you're making a bunch of big boys, that's what you want.
Dude,
also how all these graveyard ability cards work is you also have to control a land with the basic land type of it to have them active. Actually, it's not just as long as they're in the graveyard, but yeah.
It feels like it.
Yeah, so
it feels like it.
Yeah, so you need the mountain, and you
unless you're playing against Matt, and then Matt starts destroying your lands, and then you can't activate it.
Matt doesn't destroy your lands.
Yeah, no, he does. He destroyed my lands the last time, and then I destroyed everybody's lands. Well, all of my own. So.
That's because you hit me with Cataclysm. That's because you.
Yeah, see, he didn't even deny it. Yeah, of course I hit you with Cataclysm. The next card.
I'm over here trying to fucking help you.
Next card we have over here is Quorum the Undertaker. Okay, so 4 mana, so Jund and then 1 mana. Whenever the oh my god. Quorum the Undertaker gets +X+0, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in all graveyards. Oh, dude, this card is so cool. Whenever Quorum attacks, each player mills a card. Okay, so the mill. During each of your turns, you may play a land and cast a spell from among cards in your graveyards that were put there from their libraries this turn. Dude, what do you guys think about this? I think this card's pretty tough, dude. I don't know.
It should be noticed that last ability lets you play from any graveyard. It doesn't specify your cards that were sent to the graveyard this way.
That is actually a really good point for what you just said. He's a 0/5, so he literally has 0 power until you get a creature into the graveyard. But man, aren't there creatures that have like 20 power or like 15 power or something that you could just self-mill?
I'd build them as a commander himself.
Yeah, exactly. I would just take this card out and just
I'd build a whole commander around him.
Great card.
It feels like this deck just wants to play Jund Reanimator is literally what this deck list is showing me from what I've seen so far.
It's super fun.
It does just want to play Jund Reanimator and then sacrifices the potential actually just playing Goyf Tribal.
Yeah. So next card we have is Exterminator Magmark. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, that targets only a single non-land permanent opponent controls. If another opponent controls 1 or more non-land permanents that spell could target, choose one of those permanents, copy that spell. The copy targets the chosen permanent. A 5/3 that you can actually regenerate, just to be extra annoying. I can regenerate this.
Yeah, also we didn't rate that last card.
I just made it a good, bro. I rated it. It was just so obvious to me in my reality. But thank you for bringing it up. So what do you guys think about this?
Sorry.
Do you guys have thoughts of the Exterminator Magmark?
The Exterminator Magmar.
Yeah, I feel like when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target a single land. I feel like this card goes in. There's a commander from Baldur's Gate that kind of does the same thing. I forget what his name is, but he's
Like this feels like one of the first cards. If I bought this deck, I would probably end up cutting.
Yeah,
I agree with him.
One of the first cards. Yeah, I feel like this card is good in the right deck. So we'll give it a bad just because it doesn't really exist inside here, and so new players can take this card out of the deck. But I think in the right deck, this card could be game-endingly annoying in the right deck. Next card is a Grave Shifter. It's a changeling, so technically it's a Lurgoyf.
It's a Goy.
Enters the battlefield, return target creature card from graveyard to your hand. I feel like you take this card out of the deck. Am I right or I'm right? Yeah, I think it's
No, you're definitely right.
4 mana, put the hand. Next.
Yep. Next card is just straight up Lurgoyf. It's just the same power and toughness, nothing special here. I think this is probably the first iteration of the card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is the one from Ice Age, yeah.
Yeah.
Also has a different art.
So it exists.
I mean, it exists, and that's how we're gonna rate it. It exists. It's a Goyf, I guess.
Do we even keep this?
Plus, just because it's a Goyf, but yeah.
I think
we probably just keep it because of the Goyf.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, or you could just like go out and buy like a foil copy of one so that the one that you had in your deck looks cool. I wouldn't. I don't know how much money that is, but we'll keep it. We'll give it a plus, thumbs up for the flavor of it. The next card we have here is a Mortivore, 4 mana again. This one's power and toughness is equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards, which may not. In all graveyards, that's gonna fluctuate, I suppose. You don't really want a lot of. You're gonna have creatures in your graveyards if there's a board wipe, but you know what I mean. You kind of want creatures not in your graveyard.
Yeah. Also, this card has higher synergy with Pyroglyph because it's not exactly it's not capped to like the 7/8 stat line that most glyphs are limited to at optimal condition. So
I see what you're saying.
Late game, I play Mortivore, I trigger my Pyroglyph for like 15 or whatever.
And you just nuke somebody in the face at 15.
Okay, so we like Mortivore, and we can give him haste and trample, and he can regenerate himself. Wow.
Yep.
It's good. We'll give it a thumbs up. We have a Sawhorn Nemesis. This is a dinosaur. What? Enters the battlefield. Choose a player. If a source would deal damage to the chosen player or permanent they control, it deals double that damage instead. Dude.
I think that's a good just in general. It's what is it?
4 mana.
Any of those red doublers that just go like, oh look, I'm dealing you 2, now it's 4, now it's 8, now it's 16.
Yep, and then I copy the Sawhorn Nemesis, and then I target you again.
Yep.
You know, that's disgusting. That's a good card. It's a good one to own.
I think the only bad part about it is that you have to choose a player.
Yeah, it definitely limits, but it definitely limits what you're doing in a 1v1 game or when it's just like down to the last 2 people. This is just for 4 mana. I feel like
then at some point you just start swinging it wild because you're a graveyard recursion, so you're just gonna hope somebody blocks it till it dies.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's a cool card. We got the Siege Gang Lieutenant. Make 2 zombies when it enters the battlefield. Those tokens gain haste. You can pay 2 mana, sack a goblin. Why is this card in the deck?
It does not make zombies. It does not.
It says I said goblins. Did I say zombies?
Yeah.
Is this a new card?
No.
Yeah, it's based off Siege Gang Commander.
Oh, I'm thinking of Siege Gang Commander. This is Lieutenant. This is a different card.
Based off of, but yeah.
All right, so this is a different card. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Those tokens gain haste until the end of turn. I literally thought this was a Siege Gang, the other one. I didn't even bother reading it.
Oh, you said teach game commander, and I'm like, that's a card that ain't nice.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not that. I just realized. Yeah, I don't think that. I think this is cool that it exists. I don't know if you really want that in this deck.
In this deck, no. Do you want it for Krenko? Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely want that for Krenko. All the Krenkos. Muxus. I mean,
Muxus, all the goblins.
2 goblins.
Any junk commander besides this one actually benefits it because you just get a bunch of sack outlets.
Yeah, man.
Oh, sorry, sack fodder.
Yeah, I feel like it's a cool card, but just put in a different deck. Another Bloodbraid Challenger. So you basically got the Bloodbraid Elf and this one. Cascade, Haste, Escape.
Elf, retrain essentially.
Yeah, I wouldn't put this in the deck.
Yeah, take this out of the deck, guys. This is.
You can reuse it if you want to with Escape, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the idea behind it. So the next one is Infested Thrinax. When this enters the battlefield, it has Flash. When it enters the battlefield until the end of turn, whenever creature you control dies, create a number of 1/1 green sapling creature tokens equal to that creature's power. Okay, so whenever a creature you control dies, you're going to create a number of 1/1s equal to each creature's power. Yeah, I feel like this card goes really good in a Sekwar commander deck.
It goes good in anything other than this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be like one of those board wipe prevention cards or like board wipe recovery cards, but yeah, fits in that category.
Yeah, the Sekwar deck where I turn all my lands into 2/2 creatures and then I just drop this as I sack them and I make 10 lands in play, I get 20 1/1s. I mean, in this deck, I'm not sure how good this card is. I mean, but I think in general, I feel like it's a good card.
I'm gonna say something a little controversial.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
This card literally could have just been a heroic intervention.
You mean the Threnax inside this deck?
Yeah, this card. It could have just been a heroic intervention. It's like it is in the deck, and what you're trying to do.
It is in the deck.
No, heroic intervention isn't in the deck.
It's not in the deck.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, right. And that could have been a better card than this. And they could have if this isn't printed inside the main set, then I just kind of feels it was a waste of the spot.
Yeah. I mean, this card is new, right? Oh no, this card's getting printed inside Modern Horizons. So then I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, Heroic Intervention would be a good card to own, especially spending $70 on a commander deck. You know? Next card we have is Junji, the Midnight Sky. 5 mana, Flying Menace. When Junji, the Midnight Sky dies, choose 1. Each opponent discards 2 cards, loses 2 life. Put target non-dragon creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose 2 life. Inside this deck, guys...
It's a good card. It's like okay in this deck specifically because it lets you recur Goyfs.
Oh.
Middle of the road. It's like.
Yeah. And it doesn't specify your graveyard either, right?
Yeah, it could be any graveyard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you mill or you mill other people, and then outside of this deck, this card's still good.
Oh, this card is fantastic outside of this deck. But would this be a card that you keep inside this deck?
Until you get something better, yeah, 100%.
Well, I mean, like, what would you swap for it? Because I could pay like 5 mana to get like, or 4. Yeah, I can get like a Living Death for 5 mana.
Yeah, no, like,
and win the game.
That would be the hard swap. If you're dropping more money, you could just play a Reanimate.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a.
Just going the full Giant Reanimator package, you'd probably keep it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then you're giving this a thumbs up.
I'll give it a thumbs up in both cases. In this deck, it's good until you can replace it, and then outside of this, in any Reanimator deck, would be great.
Matt, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Probably up.
Yeah, we're doing up. Yeah, I think it's a great card. I just I like Akusho better. Next card is Necrogoyf. It has Madness. His power is equals to the number of all creature cards in all graveyards, so kind of like the Mortivore that we talked about earlier. And then at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player discards a card. So it's good with that Pyrovore like you were talking about earlier, Matt.
Yeah, the weird thing with this one is it has a stated toughness instead of it being asterisk toughness, but yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
The Goy.
Yeah, it works. I would get a foil copy of that card. It's a good card.
Probably cheap. It's from Modern Horizons 2 originally.
Yeah, right. I think I have a foil copy lying around somewhere. The next card we got Sir Conrad. Guys, this is an auto good. Yeah.
I don't think we even have to talk about this.
That's what I'm saying. Sir Conrad, new players, great card. Just when you see this card,
Phenomenal.
be excited. Amazing. Azoni the Thousand-Eyed.
Oh.
So enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green, black and green insect creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. You can pay 2 mana to sacrifice another creature, gain life, draw a card. For 6 mana.
I mean, let me see. She does do a lot of good combo things, just maybe not in this deck.
Not in this deck. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
This is that's I hate the fact that I have to keep using that phrase of not in this deck.
yeah. I mean, it's cool to
I
have.
say that for most of the deck lists. Yeah.
This is not a card that you play against Matt. That's how I judge my
What
cards.
it's Oni? No,
Oh,
this is the card you
dude.
play against that.
Zoni?
Okay, you can't rate cards based off of specifically how you play with me. 99.9% of the people watching this are literally never going to play with
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. They'll know exactly what I mean. The next card. What? What are you gonna say?
No, because there's a bunch of infinites you can go into a Zoni and then you could draw your deck out.
So then, if you
Right.
said, let me say infinite, that definitely could beat Matt. The next card we have Ziatora, Ziatora the Incinerator. Wow. Flying 6/6 Demon Dragon for 6 mana. You can sack a creature at your end step. When you do, you deal damage equal to its power to any target. You create 3 treasure tokens. Guys, this is a great card.
That is a good card.
Yeah, I really like Ziatora.
I found that Eldraine card. I had to go dig through the bulk pile.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's
What
called
is it?
Forever Young. It's from the first Eldraine. It's 1 in a black sorcery. Put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your deck, and then draw a card.
Yeah, hold up. I'm gonna bring this on the stream. Yeah, put any number of target creatures, exactly what you just said, and then you draw a card. That's exactly what I was talking about. So then
that's actually pretty dumb.
you could do that sorcery speed and then mill like however many cards, and you draw a card, and then you just put all of those creatures back onto the battlefield. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can
I'm gonna.
alter dimension yourself for like 5 or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this is super good inside this deck.
This deck looks like it's gonna be real fun. I mean, you do need Jun Reanimator parts because you're not gonna always be able to remill your Goyfs, right? So like any of the Reanimator cards, any of the Reanimator cards in this deck are great. Anything that just out of nowhere just makes you tokens because of cards in your grave, those could just be swapped out for either mill or just Reanimator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm still bugging about Ziatora. I'm giving that a thumbs up. I think this is a fun card. You can end the game, and you get 3 treasures, guys. Come on. Or just take it out and build a commander deck with it. Ziatora is fun. We have the Broodmate Tyrant. Oh, this is new. 7 mana, Jund and 4 flying. Enters the battlefield, create a 5/5 red dragon. This has Encore, so you can pay 8 mana and maybe get 3 copies of this and then 3 5/5s when this enters the battlefield from the graveyard. I'm gonna give this a bad. I mean, it's an Encore card, but like, I would not play this against Matt.
Yeah, that's not my idea even. Like, among the Reanimator targets, I don't think that if you wanted to just cut all the Glyph cards and just make this strictly Jund Reanimator card, this would probably be one of the first cards you'd cut also. It doesn't
Yes.
fit in the Glyph package. It doesn't fit in the Reanimator package either.
7 mana.
No.
No.
It's 7 mana. You get a 5/5. It's a 5/5. Doesn't even have trample. If it had trample, then I'd probably put it in the deck.
Oh,
I'd
really?
probably put it
Yeah,
in a Gen Reanimator. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, like literally, the list of gun Reanimator targets is probably like 40 cards above where this card is at minimum.
Yeah.
You. Okay.
Yeah, like
No.
you could be getting like the OG Sheldred, you could be getting Vorinclex.
True, true. Oh yeah, it's devastating actually. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And this card over here is devastating in and of itself. The Archon of Cruelty, 8 mana, flying. Enters the battlefield, their attacks target opponent, sacrifices a creature. Planeswalker discards a card and loses 3 life. You draw a card and gain 3 life. Guys, thumbs up. Thumbs up.
This is the better Reanimator target than the last one.
Yeah. That's wow.
That's one of my favorite cards in my Reanimator deck.
Yeah.
Specifically because it causes people to sacrifice a creature or a planeswalker and forces them to discard a card, right?
It's just
Yeah.
all value.
Yeah. It's a good card. The next card we have is Grist the Hunger Tide. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go through reading this. We're just gonna say that. Liliana Death's Majesty, again, guys, I think we I don't know. I would take that card out of the deck too. And even this Garruk Apex Predator, +1 destroy on the target planeswalker. You could put a I would just take them out of the deck. I would take all 3 out of the deck immediately.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself for a little bit.
And the Grist,
Do what you gotta do, I'll
you
say.
wanna go and, like, mill the Glyphs and put them into play. I get that's why they're in their deck, but yeah.
Say that again, Matt. You would mill the Goyfs with the Liliana.
Are in the deck because they want to go mill cards. The idea is you want to mill to try to hit the Glyph. That's why they're probably in the Precon. I don't know why Garruk is here though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just think for that much mana, I could spend. I mean, Planeswalkers to kind of gain you life because people have to start attacking them. Grist puts a creature on the battlefield to kind of protect him. You can destroy creatures with the Grist. I think if I was to keep one, I would just keep Grist. But, I would just rather pay like a 1 mana or 2 mana creature that just lets me mill like 1 or 2 cards every single turn, I feel like that's kind of what I would do.
Yeah, it could be playing something like Grizzly Salvage or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, just get more cards in the graveyard. Just something cool like that. Next card we have is a Faithless Looting. Draw 2 cards and discard 2. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Listen, when you does discarding the cards trigger this commander's ability?
Yes.
It's from anywhere.
It just says whenever it goes to the graveyard.
Dude,
Faithless Looting, 100% in the deck. I'd say it's probably like one of your top 10 best cards in the whole deck.
Dude, isn't there a card called something? Isn't there I forget what card it's called. It's like a torture card. It's an enchantment. You pay 1 black mana to swap a creature from your hand from a creature in your graveyard. You know what I'm talking? Tortured Existence. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Exactly what you're talking
Bro.
about. Existence is a popper staple.
Bro. I feel like that card inside this deck would be just. I'm looking it up.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
So yeah, you could also,
dude.
along the veins, you could also play Disarming Voice. There's a bunch of just red draw discard, and if you have enough mana, you can't just go a whole turn of draw discard, draw discard, draw discard. Oh look, I got like 9 glyphs out.
Yeah, that's
I'm just also gonna throw this out here.
up?
Imagine playing the commander with Wheel Fortune also. Just like drop a bunch of glyphs. Like anything along the lines of wheel cards, any of those.
Yo.
For new
That would
players,
be
I
crazy.
just want you to
Fortune or
know
whatever.
that's an expensive card.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune's
There's also-
only.
Also cheaper versions that players can afford, but yeah.
Oh, that's true. But you're
Just
basically
look
saying
at what
play
they're-
wheels. You're basically just saying play wheels. Wheels, new players, meaning that like you discard your hand and then you're gonna draw 7 cards. Basically.
Yeah, well, there's
But-
a reason a lot of the wheel cards are popular. But yeah.
Yeah,
Just
and
recovery cards, but also in this deck is technically advantage.
it's $250. So
And there's also like 6 versions of them that also cost like $10 or less, like Reforge the Soul, etc. But yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, what? Fantastic card there. So next card we have is Grapple with the Past, which is what?
Great card too.
Yeah, it's a good card. We all grappled in the past when we bought our $250 Wheel of Fortune. So mill 3 cards.
It was only $20.
I mean, it was only $20. We give us thumbs up.
Them, yeah.
At some point, it probably was. Grizzly Salvage is the next one. I feel like this is good.
2013.
2 mana.
Another one. Another good one.
Do we like the rampant growth here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's just green ramp.
Yeah, just do the thing. I mean, I wouldn't mind just putting... I like... When I play melee type decks, I like to swap out... I would rather just be a creature that just enters the battlefield and then gets me a mana instead. So that gives me something to reanimate as opposed to just having... I mean...
just be Nature's Lore, 3 visits, but yeah, it's also not a bad card.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It'll
terminate...
hold you until you switch, until you swap out.
Yeah, just... Yeah. Because if you're playing Reanimator and stuff and milling, I just like creatures. More creatures in the graveyard powers up the cards that we were talking about earlier, like the Necrogoyf and stuff. So I feel like the Mortivore, I would swap that out for more creatures that do the same thing. Next card is Terminate. 2 mana, destroy target creature, can't be regenerated. Cool.
It's gonna hold you over until you get an Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, it's just good. I mean, it does what you need it to do. This could be a Chupacabra, you know.
It could be a Ravenous Troop, yeah.
But whatever. We have Kolgan's Command. Do you guys like this card in this deck?
It could be Deadly Relic also, but yeah.
It could have been a Deadly
Relic.
So I think that we're just gonna say that I feel like this is a mid card. I feel like this is probably one of the first cards I would take out of the deck.
Which one?
The Kolgan's Command. I mean, it gets me a creature from my graveyard to my hand. Destroys an artifact.
The card's notoriously been good, but I don't know how good it is here.
In Commander, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's good if you have like 4 copies of them in your deck. You know? Maybe it's the card that you're casting that copies when you target people.
Well, think of it this way. You could do 2, right? You could pop somebody's permanent artifact or return one of your creatures, or you could discard it. Actually, that's also really good.
You could target yourself to discard a card and then get a Goyf. At instant speed. Oh!
You can get your Myriad Goyf, right? You could return it to your hand and then send it to the grave, and then you get it on the board.
You just changed my mind. We just gave it a...
Sequencing works.
And there's no such...
like to explain how sequencing works?
Yeah, you say it. You say it.
Well, pretty much sequencing is you see all the dart. You have it on the screen right now, right?
Which one? The Kolgan's Command?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much how sequencing works is you follow the dots. In this case, yeah, you would return the creature, which would be Goyf, and then you would be discarding a card. Because all of these cards that have all the dots, you always have to follow the card text exactly in the order of the modes you choose.
Really? I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, cards work, yeah.
So basically,
command's pretty bad.
For the ears of a brand new player, what Match got done saying was that you choose to return a Goyf from your graveyard to your hand, and then you target yourself as the player is going to discard a card. You discard the Goyf, and then because your commander's in play and a Goyf went to the graveyard, you just get to put it back onto the battlefield for 3 mana. That's a great card. Yeah. See, that's why I have you guys here, because I would have not known that. Next card is a Maelstrom Pulse. Destroy target online permanent. What? You're gonna cut it now?
Absolutely.
Of course you will. Destroy target non-land permanent and all of the permanents with the same name as that permanent. So I'm just gonna target Matt. So,
you target a token.
And then I target Matt, and then all other Matts in the world are destroyed.
Yep, kill all the soul rings at one time. Kill target soul ring and kill all other soul rings and kill.
That's a good, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a good card.
Rule, this is okay.
I like it because it destroys a non-land permanent. It's very flexible.
Yeah.
So
like other things do worse that people play for 3 mana, right? Like this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's perfectly good if you're playing it against a token deck because you just go, oh, I'm gonna target your bird and then all of your 20 other birds. Well,
Yeah, next card we have here is the Rivetier's Charm. I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to say that one's... You just take that card out and get something else. I see Tempt with Mayhem. Choose target instant or sorcery spell. Each opponent may copy that spell and may choose new targets for the copy they control. You copy that spell 1+ an additional time for each opponent who copy the spell this way. You may choose new targets for the copies you control. How many times did I say copy in a matter of 30 seconds?
in all honesty, for new players, just take it out until you figure out how to play the game.
Seriously.
This feels like a weird card you'd put in a Storm deck, but even then, it probably wouldn't even
Yeah.
make the cut there.
I guess people get the opportunity to choose to copy it or not. So then it's like...
Yeah, like for example, if I put a Mind's Desire on the stack, I'm not gonna go have all my opponents copy my Mind's Desire for 15 or whatever.
That's actually a good
Yeah.
point. That's actually a good point. Yeah, I mean...
Best case scenario is you'd probably play this on a ritual, but even then...
Oh, yeah, you're right. But then,
I mean,
like...
You play this on your rampant growth, to be honest.
Yeah,
Where
so...
nobody would bat an eye. Yeah.
So in other words, it's basically just like... It's every tempt that ever existed.
Yep.
Technically, you know what I mean? Before this, because then you're just copying it. But for new players, this is basically just 3 mana copy your spell. Because most people, depending on what it is, I don't know. I feel like this card's
They're not gonna copy
awkward. Yeah, they're either not gonna copy it
Just make a
or
new copy spell over this one.
yeah, there's a new copy spell. And then
Yeah, I think there's one where it's like red copy target spell. It's not Reverberate. There was a newer version of it.
Okay.
It's like an uncommon, but it's pretty much the same thing.
So next card we have here is Siphon Mind. So each other player discards a card. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. Yeah.
Badge.
Yeah, 4 mana. You definitely take this out, but I think this card is fun.
This would be better. This is one of those if you're playing like a big 6-man pod, you're like, oh, 5 card, yay!
Yeah, right.
Or if you're playing like something like Tegret or Tawny Bones or something where it actually has synergy with the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, next card is a
Again,
buy.
like I said,
Another.
this could just be one of those red spells. You just like, oh, discard cards and draw cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
next
there's a long
card
list of those.
we have here is by 2 minutes blast. Just deal 4 damage to target creature, cascade. Guys, take that card out of the deck. That's a.
Yeah.
I'm not even.
Even in Cascade Tribal, it's not a good card.
$70. We have Chandra's Ignition. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. This card wins games sometimes.
Yeah, one of the reasons why is because this thing cares about the creature itself. You can also, if you were playing some infect package and like a reanimator version of this, you could just infect all your to death at once. But yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's just.
That's another good card to put in the deck, trying for the hordes.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the cards I feel like actually should have been in the deck.
Yeah.
That would have been
Because you're
super
playing all
epic.
these giant creatures and you don't have a way to push most of them through because most of the glyphs don't have trample. Most of them are just like big beat sticks. There's not really a way to beat over unless it be a brawn in the graveyard.
Yeah. The next card we have here is Final Act. You can choose one or more to destroy all creatures, planeswalkers, battles. Exile all graveyards. Each opponent loses all counters. Is this a new card? Or is this an
Yeah.
old card?
No.
Yeah, this is a brand new card.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like
It feels like Farewell.
yeah, that's what I was gonna
I
say.
was about to say, it's like the black version of Farewell.
Yeah.
But
It's
is it?
Farewell from Wish.
Yeah, pretty much. It's up. Yeah.
Each opponent loses all counters. Would that take away experience counters?
That would
Yeah, I
take
guess
us
for
probably.
experience,
Wow.
energy, poison counters.
Actually, you know
really wanna
what?
Get rid of your opponent's poison.
Wow.
That actually that actually makes it a little better in my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy because nothing ever does that.
Yeah.
There's
Nothing ever.
Not many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
But like, it's a
First
good
one
politicking
is
card too.
But that's only one opponent.
Yeah. Peace out,
That's
Marin.
actually a really good policy card. Because you sit there and you just look at everybody, and be like, "Hey, I can deal with the poison player right now. How? We,
Oh yeah, all the infect.
You can be like, right, but nobody touches me for the next 3 turns.
Everybody lets me win the game. Next card.
Royal battle cards is kind of weird, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, they just wanted to, just for fun. Next card's Find Finality.
More battles.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more battles for the next set, apparently. I heard. The next card is Find Finality. I mean, 20 cent, board wipe, 6 mana. I would take this out. Soul Ring, good.
No, it goes in the bad pile. Literally breaks the format by itself.
Soul Ring? Matt, do you play Soul Ring?
The whole format.
Matt, I think every card you play warps the entire format.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that Arcane Signet and Lightning Groove should also be banned in Commander? Got it.
Do you play Soul Ring?
Yes, the card is stupidly broken.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Next card, Arcane Signet. We got Lightning Greaves over here.
Good.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's a good one to have. I feel like Lightning Greaves is always good. Talisman of Impulse. Good mana ramp. Good mana ramp. Resilience. Good. Oh, they put the Reaver Cleaver inside here. So trample, creating treasure tokens. That's a really good card. We have the Maskwood Nexus.
Dominaria United Commander deck. It was a good card then also.
Guys, the Maskwood Nexus over here, it says, creatures you control it basically turns all your creatures into Lurgoyfs.
That's a prime card.
Dude, inside this deck, this card is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like Conspiracy, but it's better.
Yeah, because then you could literally just get this onto the battlefield. Mind you, it's colorless mana, so it's literally just 4 mana of any color. And then you just mill half of your deck and then get all of your creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was talking about earlier with the Ultra Dimensional lines.
Oh man, that's such a good include.
Yeah, you could just be like,
and you're black, so you have like 80 tutors.
Oh, dude.
Red, you could also just play more haste anthems besides Anger. You could play like Fervor, or Rising of the Day, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing card right here. This card could literally just be like, I mill my entire deck with this on the battlefield. There's haste enabled somehow. I win the game.
Yep.
Wow.
You could just play Rhythm of the Wild. You're playing red-green.
Yeah, this is a card when you cast it, you have to slam this card on the table. And just, I'm playing the Maskwood. Them.
And you just hope to God nobody kills it.
You break the table.
You want to put into this deck.
Everybody's looking at you because you broke the table. Like, wait, what'd you say, Matt?
Yeah, I was gonna say Rhythm of the Wild is one of the first cards you'd put in this deck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, more counters and haste.
Oh, like $2 or whatever. It's like.
Next card is Altar of the Goyf. Whenever creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X until the end of turn, where X is the number of card types among cards in all graveyards. Lurgoyfs, more importantly, I think. Lurgoyf creatures you control have trample.
Yeah.
Basically a trample anthem. I mean, I like it.
If
I think it's good.
Cards, if it gets discarded or sent to the grave, it comes back into play.
Oh, that's so true. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna give that another thumbs up.
Yeah,
so we have
next the Tarmogoyf.
Dude, what is this? Tarmogoyf next. Enchanted Land has 2 mana, create a Tarmogoyf token. Amazing. And
actually,
like you just said,
that's great.
Let's say this is a Lurgoyf aura. So like you were saying earlier. Yep. A kindred enchantment? What is a kindred?
It's a new word they put for tribal. They changed it.
Oh, okay. So kindred means that it's a tribal card?
Yeah, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a retroactive adjustment to the card type or something.
Yep.
Next thing, we have a Death Reap Ritual. A creature dies this turn, you may draw a card. I don't know how many creatures are going to be having dying like that. I'll give it a, I would rather have a creature enchantment that lets me draw cards as creatures enter the battlefield. I feel like that would be more advantageous. Next one is a Dead Bridge Chant. Mill 10 when it enters the beginning of your upkeep, choose a random card in your graveyard. If it's a creature, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. I mean, for 6 mana, it's a cool card. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up because I think it's cool, not because I think it's good.
I also think it's cool.
Yeah. Honestly,
I read the Mill 10 and I was like, ooh.
What'd you say, guys?
It also doesn't help this is originally from Dragon's Maze, so yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is a card that you're just super excited to play. You mill 10, and then you get 0 goifs, but you cast it, so you're happy. That's what happens whenever I play this card, at least. In the lands.
A lot of these, at the beginning of your upkeep cards, is you either have to wait a turn cycle and hope that nobody kills it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, and you whiff on top of that. So there's good upside with it, but
because you have to assume you're not going to get the second half.
Yeah. So I see the canyons, dude. I'm echoing on somebody's. I can hear myself talking right now.
Not mine.
I hear nothing now, though. Next card we have over here. In the lands, we have a cycling land, a Canyon Slough. Matt, you want to go over these lands? I'm not really too... I used to not even go over lands. I see 2 cycling lands over here that are obviously good. Command Tower is good.
I'm gonna be honest, about the only land worth mentioning here is probably Dakmor Salvage and Keswick Wolf Run, because the rest of this is pretty much standard commander land package that they like putting in every precon.
Yeah,
well, if you
your command towers, your signet lands, your check lands.
So would you rate this as an above average mana base, an average mana base, or below average?
I'm
kind of leaning at above average.
I want to say average, mostly because they also love putting in every single tap land they can find in these things normally.
Yep.
Yeah, but at least the tap lands.
Here I see 7 tap lands, 8 tap lands.
Yeah.
8, 9.
I mean, you got all the scrying tap lands, which I personally enjoy. But I do see what you're saying.
Different versions of Evolving Wilds in the same deck either. My bad. 4 versions of Evolving Wilds.
Yeah, they're really trying to fix your mana there. I do like the Keswick Wolf Run. I think the Keswick Wolf Run is just such a card wins so many games. And I love that the fact that it says target creature gets. So you can use this on your opponent's creatures. Like that's it's such a political card. It's really good. I've won games of Phylath because of that card. Okay, and that's basically the entire deck, guys. So on a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being the best precon that has ever existed in the history of precons, what do we give this deck?
I'd rather just compare it versus the other ones, but that's because I've actually looked at all the deck list in advance. But this one, I'd probably give it like a 6. It would probably be like, I want to say it would be the second, in my personal opinion, it would be the second highest I'd want on my buy list, but that's because I like Reanimator style decks.
I'm same. I think I put it at realistically, I put it at a 6. I expected more from this if I'm paying $70, so as a personal, I put it at a fucking 5.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's fun.
You'd put this as your lowest priority for buying if you had a choice.
I mean, you see the other 2 choices?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything yet. I have not.
Right here.
I have not seen anything yet, so I do not know. So
when you get the third one,
I'm gonna say fun factor because you get to play with Lurgoyfs. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10 because I think that this just
it's a 9. It's a 10 out of 10. Like you're allowing me to freaking make $30 tokens. Oh, I'm in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this deck it's just I give it an 8. If I was gonna rank this amongst not in power level amongst other commander decks, just by like it itself as a product, I feel like at an 8, just milling a altar of the Goyf onto the battlefield is gonna feel so good. I don't know why. And then attacking same turn, getting the buff, give it trample, just smacking somebody is gonna be super cool. I like this deck.
Yeah, but there's one thing we should